sweetheart here. Yes, we are in my kitchen today. I was getting so sick of my bedroom. I like the lighting up here so much better. I'm actually thinking about moving my desk up here again. It used to be up here. I just can't make up my mind with this. So today what we are doing is we are getting back to the Authoring 101 series, and we are interviewing, or not we, I guess me, no one else is here. That makes me sound a little crazy. I am interviewing 2 out of the 3 people who run one of my favorite book blogs, and that is the Red Hatter's book blog. Today we'll be talking with Julia and Britt, and I'm really excited to kind of bridge the gap between authors and bloggers. I know that when I was a brand new author, the idea of approaching bloggers was literally terrifying. I went on a quest to find all the romance blogs that I could. I read all of their submission guidelines, sent out probably 50 requests to review my book. I got maybe 5 or 6 responses, and only 2 people agreed to read my book. So again, that was a little bit disheartening. One of them gave me a 4-star review, and she pointed out some really good things that I could have worked on my book, which is exactly what an honest book review is supposed to be. And the other one DNF'd my book, and that is, again, totally okay. If you remember my video about talking about all my books and being honest about them and all my mistakes, the book in question was Rocking Autumn. So once again, I talked about how I marketed it as a rock star romance, and it definitely was not a rock star romance, and she kind of called me out on that, and she hated the pace, and she DNF'd it, and that's totally okay. So Britt and Julia and I talked a little bit before this interview, and there's quite a few things we want to talk about. I really want to talk about how to approach book bloggers, what to expect from them. We're going to talk about reviews. We're going to talk about blogger services, all kinds of things. So stay tuned. I really hope that you guys find this video helpful, because again, sometimes as a new author, and not even a new author, it is terrifying to reach out to bloggers about your book. So let's get this video started. All right, you guys, so I am here with 2 of my favorite people, 3-part of a book blog that I really love, the Red Hatter's book blog. I am here with Julia and Britt. So Julia and Britt, can you guys say hi and introduce yourselves?
I'll let Julia go first.
Hello, I'm Julia. I am co-owner of the Red Hatted book blog, and I can't talk.
I know, I'm honest to God, I'm so nervous because I'm fangirling so hard. You guys have no idea.
Like, I can't talk. Okay. No, like, we were both nervous. We were like, oh my God, we're so nervous.
100% shaking, yeah.
Okay. I'm Julia. I am 1/3 of the Red Hatter book blog.
Hi, I'm Britt. I am 1/3 of the Red Hatter book blog also, that we run with both Julia and myself and our girl, Ari, who's the audiobook obsessed third.
Very cool.
Yes, that's us.
Okay, so my first question, I'm going to be just super on the nose with this. Tell me, again, because this video is for brand new authors, what do book bloggers basically do for the indie book community?
You know, there's a lot that we do, and a lot of it really varies depending on the blogger.
Right.
You know, some bloggers are strictly, you know, social media only. You're not going to get anything else besides them posting it on, you know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's those of us that have a website, we've got social media, and we're going everywhere in every direction, kind of putting it all over. But I mean, the overall thing that bloggers do for the indie community is almost like we bring things a little bit more together between authors and readers.
Okay.
You know, I think it's on a certain level, we're always readers ourselves. And so readers relate to us a bit easier. Not
See, and that is, I could never have answered it that way. That makes so much sense.
It's not that they don't relate to authors or anything like that, but
yeah,
you guys are on this pedestal with your readers. You know, you're the superstar. You're you know, this celebrity almost.
Right.
And we're more on their level.
Okay.
You know, it's easier for them to come to us and be like, hey, you got any good, you know, recommendations? Where do you know, what do you think? And especially because, you know, we all have big mouths, so we're all just all day long blabbing away about
What? Shocking.
Well, I know where to go to find out about a book.
Okay. I absolutely love that answer. Julia, do you have anything to like add on to that answer? That was so amazing.
I mean, I don't think I can add much more onto that. I mean, she pretty much hit the nail on the head right there.
That was beautiful. I love that. Okay, so as I was saying, a lot of this I want to do for new authors. So I know for myself, is my audio super weird, or is that me hearing read back?
I can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, weird to me.
Okay. As a new author, I know I was terrified to reach out to bloggers. I know I spent like a good 3 weeks even just trying to find romance bloggers and then follow all their submission guidelines. So what kind of advice do you have for new authors when it comes to reaching out to book bloggers? Like, how do you want us to approach you? You know, how do we do that?
Okay, I think the biggest thing that I can say is research the blog.
Okay.
Take the time, and I know it seems daunting. You know, there's thousands upon thousands of blogs, but trust me, if you take that time to look into the blog, to learn a bit about how they do things,
Mm-hmm.
how they interact, what books they enjoy, what books that they really weren't a good fit, because that gives you the opportunity to make sure you're the right fit for them.
Right.
And it also, we get hundreds of emails and contact forms and messages and everywhere, every single day.
And I was going to ask that question. How many, like, do you think you get a week? How many requests do you think you get a week?
Oh, well into the hundreds.
Okay. Wow.
Well into the hundreds by the end of the week. It's really up there. Like, there's no way to keep track anymore. It's kind of like this battle I play of keep the inbox empty.
Mm-hmm.
For end. But the thing of it is we get so many requests, and if you take the time to know who we are, what we do, how we operate, and also what we prefer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 1,000 times more likely to go, that one.
Okay.
I'll pick up that one. I'll take a chance on that one. Whereas you have a lot of authors, this is a big newbie mistake that a lot of new authors, and even some longtime authors still do, just making a copy and paste.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put their Mobi file in the email. Never spoken to us before, but their Mobi file's in that email. Everything's in there, and then they just put a list of like 100 bloggers in that to section of the email and send it out.
That feels rude to me.
Yeah, we agree. I think that's like the number one blogger complaint is that.
Okay. Interesting.
And, you know, that I try to point out to authors, especially if they're new and they don't understand how everything works, you are setting yourself up for having your book pirated doing that.
Oh, for sure. Book bloggers are pirates too. Yeah.
It definitely, you know, in every aspect of the community, there's a bad seed, but not only that. Like, for example, we've changed emails since we first started Red Hatter. I don't even access that old email address anymore. So for all I know, someone has gotten into that first email address and you've just sent your book completely unprotected to it. Mm-hmm. You found old information because you didn't research who we were, find out the up-to-date information, and now your book is in who knows anybody's hands.
Yeah.
So there's security to it also.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so let me ask you this, and you guys can be completely blunt with me. So I've had a relationship with you guys for like a year or more.
Yeah, you came along almost like not long after we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I want you to be honest with me. So I feel like I have a relationship with you guys. So I know that I've DM'd you on Facebook like, hey, do you want to read my book? Tell me, is that rude? Should I go about it another way? I
don't think it's rude when it's an author that I have a relationship with.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, just touching back on what she said, you know, about getting to know your people. like if a brand new author messages me on Facebook and they're like, hey, you know, here's my new book. Here's a chance to read it. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
That just seems very impersonal to me. And
Yeah.
for me, I like it to be a little bit more personal.
Okay.
Like I like for them to come up, you know, like, hey, Julia, I've been looking at your, you know, I've saw some of your reviews. Goodreads is a really, really, really good place to try to find some bloggers, because you can go through the blogger's review.
Yes.
And all of their reviews, see what they're like, you know, what they like and what they don't like and stuff like that. And I've had a few that's come to me that way, and they've been amazing books that I've read.
Okay, good.
And I've built a really great relationship with them because it wasn't just a copy and paste, you know, not like you do. I love yours because I'm always waiting for your books. But, you know, just if I don't have a relationship with you, please don't message me and be like, hi, I have this book.
Okay.
And then send me a link for a sign-up link or anything like that. You know, you don't even say hello, Julia. You don't say anything. You're just like, hi, I have a book.
Right. And I asked that because I really, and one of the things we were talking about is kind of bridging that gap between authors and bloggers. And so I really want to know the etiquette, because sometimes I can be a little overly friendly and just be like, oh, they're my BFF now. Here, just, you know.
I'll always be your BFF.
So is there any other etiquette things that maybe we should bring up? Like after we're not even talking about reviews yet. We'll get to that beast. Let's say you've read my book, or maybe you signed up to take on my book after I signed up with the company I use all the time is, what's the one I use all the time? Who do I always use? Enticing Journeys. If you've signed up, is there an etiquette? Should I be thanking you, just liking your post, sharing your post? What would you like to see?
I know this is one of those areas between bloggers and authors right now that's a little heated.
Okay.
I wouldn't say heated in a, we're fighting over this manner, but we fully understand, particularly for authors that have really taken off suddenly. It's so difficult to find everything and go to everyone and thank everyone. And we fully understand that. But it is, not only does it make us feel really great,
yeah,
obviously, you wouldn't feel great after you do something and you put that effort into, getting somebody's book in front of other people, it feels great, but also it helps us.
Okay.
Algorithms work, especially on social media. So if the author goes in and likes the post and comments on the post, that helps us. So it's almost, help us help you kind of thing, because the more interaction that we have that boosts those algorithms for us.
Oh, for sure.
Your book with our review going, this is great.
Okay, very cool. So before we get to the animal of reviews, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I think tagging is kind of
I can see your wheels spinning.
You know what? When we discussed doing this, I went to some of my fellow blogger friends.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And I said, hey, I'm going to do this, but we're one blog. Does anybody have anything that you're like, I wish that we could say this to?
Please, tell me all the things.
And they're like, yeah, we got some things.
Okay.
But there's this list, and I'm trying to mentally condense it down to.
Okay.
It's just, take this and then research some more.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is don't spam us. We get a lot of unsolicited, like I said before, emails of just, here you go.
Okay. So definitely take that time to really send out a personal message.
And then, especially another thing that new authors tend to do is they tend to find our emails, I guess in blogger lists, or maybe they're just researching, somebody's given it to them.
Right.
Blindly adding blog emails to a newsletter shouldn't be a thing.
No.
It's an incredibly common thing.
No, it's not. Really?
Yes. And I think what it is, because I don't want to be, the person sitting here going, bad author, because we love you guys. What I think it is they honestly, they start these newsletters and they don't know.
Okay.
There's so many of these small details that, nobody could know first going into something like this.
Right.
So I think a lot of it is they don't know.
Okay.
No, that's kind of illegal.
Very illegal.
But also it's really frustrating for us because emails that look like they're, packets being sent to us of something that we signed up to do, and we're like, what? I don't remember this. And so, where did this come from? Was I drunk one night? And then we realized, no, somebody's put us on a newsletter.
Okay.
We'll do that. Like, it's a daily occurrence. It's really, really
wow.
fun. The bloggers are kind of like, please listen to us. Stop.
Yeah.
And the other thing is tagging authors. I know at the moment there's a bit of a thing going on in regards to that. But I think for the vast majority of us, we only tag authors in positive posts. This thing has kind of morphed into don't tag authors at all.
Really? I have not heard this one.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't even, if it is a critical review, I hate to say negative review because it sounds so close to, bashing someone, which we would never do.
Right.
But a more critical review. It does not go on our social media. It does not, we don't parade around our critical review going, oh, this book, don't buy it.
Right.
We do the honest thing though, because our followers come to us and expect honesty.
100%.
So we will not, the vast majority of bloggers, we're not going to tag you guys in a critical review. And I know this new thing is, just don't tag authors at all. No author wants all that tagging. And it's such a back and forth right now with all of this. And
this one I have not heard.
Yeah, I've heard.
You guys have probably heard a lot more though.
I think down in the blogging community, we're very tight knit.
Okay.
So, it's kind of like, this is okay. Let's band together, because if we're not a united force.
Right.
Kind of brushed aside. But if you specifically do not want to be tagged, instead of jumping on the bandwagon of this don't tag thing, just say when you're contacted, I would like to not be tagged on social media.
That is so interesting. I'm learning something today.
Always operated, we've always operated as if it's a good review, we only put, the positive stuff on our social media. We're going to tag you to celebrate and say, hey, we love you. So it's kind of hard when, we're trying to be kind and say, we really, really love your work. And then now people are, don't tag me. How dare you tag me? And we're like, sorry, just trying to be nice.
I'd want to know, but to me, you guys put in such extra effort that I always try and repost what you guys do. And not saying if I was a book blogger, I probably honestly would not have the time to do what you guys do. And I would probably be one of those who just posts the book and run. I'm not going to lie. But when people go the extra mile, I would think it'd be a nice thing to know what they're doing for you, because you're taking time out of your day to do something for me.
Yeah, which probably is the thing we appreciate the most about you.
Well, not just me. I know there's others. We got a little group.
all you authors that, when a blogger puts forth that effort, and it even if you don't have time to be like, oh, look at this, but just a simple thank you, that makes it so worth it.
Awesome.
Even if, we're itty bitty small time and no one, reads our blog or anything, that the author still appreciated it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, we're readers too.
Right.
Of course, we're going to fangirl over authors. That's our profession.
Exactly. What a cool job. So what else did some other bloggers want us to know?
Oh, a lot of it goes into the review.
Okay, so let's just move right into reviews. I'll tell you, my first experience with contacting bloggers, I was brand new, and I've done a video where I was super honest about my books. And I don't know if you guys have read Rocking Autumn, but when I first wrote it, I called it a rock star romance. And it's not a rock star romance. So, you know, I did get DNF'd by the second biggest book blogger on Goodreads. And that's fine because I was well, not intentionally dishonest, but it wasn't correct. And then another one gave me 4 stars, which I appreciated. But I've learned something from every negative review I've ever gotten. I learned from those experiences. So let's talk about reviews, good, bad, because when you guys read a book and I give you a book, I want honesty, even if it's not good. So let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, and I've had a lot of time recently to, really sit back and reflect on this subject. There's a few things in our community, and this is one of the things that bloggers really, really wish would be heard more.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've created, particularly in the indie romance community,
Mm-hmm.
is since for new authors who are coming in, that if a book is not rated 3 stars or higher, there will not be a review posted. So coming in, they see all this, particularly because of, PR companies have their rating restrictions, which is fine. We agree to it when we sign up. We agree to it. So it's not like we don't know and then we're hit with it. We agree to it if we sign up with them. Now everybody's got art teams, and those art teams have those rating restrictions. And really the only place, with the exception of a few PR companies and a few, out of the box authors, is NetGalley, Edelweiss, where we can get art copies without having those restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I understand this is for marketing purposes. We fully understand that. But the problem is that it's morphed into, one, new authors come in and they automatically think this is just a rule across the board.
Interesting. Okay.
And then
it's not.
It's not. 2, it's created this mentality with maybe bloggers who, I don't want to say have less confidence in themselves, but a lot of the newer bloggers, not those are the ones that are much more experienced than me, and then us ourselves who've been here for a little while, they feel like they have to rate this rating or they will no longer receive art.
That is really sad to me.
Yeah.
That is.
And, a lot of these amazing, I can't tell you how many amazing ladies, how many bloggers that, kind of rallied around me in my situation, but also are always there for these new ones and say, look, if you can't be honest and it's not that rating, you don't need art. Buy the book.
Yep.
Read it that way. Which is, we can do that. We will do that. If it comes down to it, we will. But at the same time, if you're a blog of our size where just myself, not Julia, not Ari, not our other 2 reviewers, Misty and Heather, I'm reviewing upwards of 30 books a month.
Right.
Financially, on top of, maintaining the blog and everything else, because that costs a decent amount too. I can't afford to buy 30 books a month.
Right.
And continue on that path and still support, everybody with all of that too. So I kind of have to balance. And it's resulted in me declining things that maybe I perhaps would not have in other circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
It's a risk now for us. It's a risk if, because the other thing we don't like doing is blindly promoting. If we get a and it's through PR and it's lower than 3 stars, we're still asked to promote the book just without the review, and then put the review a week after release usually.
Okay.
But the problem is we have our followers. And if we're blindly promoting a book we know
You
isn't
didn't like.
up to what we prefer, because that's where they're coming to us. They like what we prefer. So now we're blindly promoting this, then we run the risk of betraying them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really, it's an awkward line, but overall, the community has created this sense of 3 stars or higher, the end.
Interesting.
And I think it's because new authors come in and they're seeing, well, all these street teams, 3 stars or nothing. All these PR companies tell me 3 stars or nothing. All these bloggers, they got to give me 3 stars or higher. And that's when things start to snowball.
See, and to me, and I think, but it took me a while to get there. It took me getting a few, I've gotten just some doozies. And that's okay. And to be honest, that's why I've preferred using, I use Booksprout for my book reviews, because I know I'm going to get honesty when I go there. And I've gotten some zingers. I have gotten some whoppers of zingers. And that's okay. It has to be okay. And I think that sometimes getting a few bad reviews mixed amongst your 3, 4s, and 5s, it makes you look more credible anyway.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah.
Interesting perspective, and I've had readers tell me this a lot, is when I'm looking for a book for my personal reading, which I'm super picky on, I don't get a lot of me time. I choose a book based on the negative reviews.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm a blogger, but I choose a book based on the negative reviews because I'm going to get the full details, and 9 times out of 10, what someone else hated, love.
Right.
All those reviews are like, this is ridiculous, over the top, insta love. It would never happen in real life. I'm like, stop.
You got sold.
Happens so much.
And I also think, and I wish more newer authors knew this, but God, you can learn so much from a good critical review. You can learn. I found my best beta reader by picking a very critical review and inboxing her and saying, hey, you know what? Thank you. How would you like to read for me? And she is my best beta reader, and she's tough.
Yes. Well, perfect example. I'm not going to name names here. But there was a debut author, right after all that stuff happened,
Yes.
And, I was so terrified at that point to leave a critical review.
Oh my God, that was insane.
I was so terrified. It was literally the next week that I had another critical review. I was terrified. And I put it up, and that author went to our website, filled out our contact form, emailed me, thanked me.
Good. That's awesome.
And said, I didn't notice these things, because it wasn't, her story was brilliant. It needed some love. It needed editing. It needed some help in that area. And that's what brought it down. And she took that advice. You don't have to take our critical advice, but she did take that advice, thanked me, and then went back and is having her book re-edited. And I'm like, hey, let me know when. I will read it again.
I love that.
We'll go back to my review. I will change, to what your book is at that point, and we'll continue that way. I mean, it was fantastic. And that's how, if you absolutely must contact someone about a critical review, that's how you should handle it.
Absolutely. Okay, Julia, you're so quiet. I want to hear your thoughts about reviews and all that.
Unlike Britt, I write more critical reviews than probably anybody in our blog.
Do you? Okay.
Well, the fact being is I'm always looking for something new.
Okay.
I get tired of the same trope after, 2 or 3 books. So I'm like, okay, I need to switch it up. So I'm always searching for something new, and my first choice is always an indie author. I prefer indie authors over the bigger named authors. That's
You
just who
really?
I am.
Why is that?
I found that, I mean, obviously there's a lot of great, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of wonderful big name authors,
Yeah.
but I prefer the more meatiness that you get in an indie author. I feel like there's more love put in to an
Okay.
indie author's book than there is someone who has, you know, living in a $5 million home and they have 30 books, you know, 130 books out,
Yeah.
whatever. So I try every little thing. I mean, I go from dark to contemporary to Insta to, you know, I mean, I'm all over the place with everything. So I do have more critical reviews
Okay.
than everybody else. But there's never been a book that, and you can ask Britt this, I drive her crazy all the time because I'll be reading something and she'll say, don't finish it. If it's bugging you that bad, stop finishing it. Well, I am a naturally curious person. I have to finish the book. There's
Oh,
no
okay. See, and I
skipping
can't.
it. I have to finish it. So even though, and normally with me, after maybe chapter 7 and maybe a 40 chapter book, I get more into it.
Okay.
I push past
Interesting.
what maybe I had problems with, or I just put it in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And so with my critical reviews, you know, you might get a 2-star from me, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I loved and why I loved it so much.
Okay. Very
And
cool.
it's just, you know, with my critical reviews and with a lot of bloggers' critical reviews, sorry, with a lot of authors' critical reviews, there is, I mean, not authors, but bloggers, we always put what we love most of the time and what we, you know, what didn't work for us.
Yes, I've noticed that.
And for me, if what did not work for me was a little bit more than what I loved, I'm going to have to go down a star. That's only fair.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been a book that I can honestly say that I've absolutely hated. I will never pick it up again, no matter what the author says. There's never been a book for that like that for me.
Awesome.
And I've got a lot of critical reviews. But I've even reread some of my 2-star books. You know, later on I bought them and reread them, and I'm like, you know, my
Like a
taste
fresh set of
changed. So I'm
eyes.
like, and I'll update my review. I'm like, okay, I went back and read this 6 months later.
I've done that with one book. Not this has anything to do with what we're talking about, but I bought 13 Reasons Why, like after, you know, it came out, and I hated it because it wasn't like that series. And then I realized why I hated it. So I went back and read it, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah, with that different mind frame.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely makes a difference.
Okay, guys, we are pushing 30 minutes here, which is crazy. So first, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. I hope that we covered everything we said we were going to talk about. So I want to give you guys a chance to talk about what it is that you specifically do for the community, like the services you offer authors, and how they can find you, and not spam you, but how they can find you.
There's lots.
And can we see your pig?
No, I took her outside, or else you would hear nothing in this video other than oinks and piggy squeals. You know, not just kind of become the Red Hatter mascot. You know, we have the whole Alice in Wonderland thing. Now it's like a pig theme. But you can find us everywhere at the Red Hatter Book Blog. That's even our website. You know, our email is even heyhatters@Red Hatter Book Blog. Don't spam me. But we have a full blog where we post our book reviews, where, you know, all the social media is connected to that. We also have a party group for authors where we feature you guys every day of the month, 365 days of the year. Anybody new, experienced, the door's open for everybody to come in and do a takeover. I think, well, you've done a couple of them in there.
I've done a few, and they're some of the funnest I've ever done. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are all hands on deck in there.
Yeah.
So you'll at least get the 3 crazy hatters, you know, bugging you during your takeover. We just now, as of the last couple of weeks, have rolled out our, I don't want to call it PR because I feel like we're not big enough on that level.
Sure.
but yeah, it is. PR services where we do tours for releases, review tours for backlists, cover reveals, all of that. We organize them and get them out there. And our goal with that is to create something that is not just author friendly, but blogger friendly.
Love it. I'm going to come to you guys with my next book. When I release Crash Into Me, I'm going to come to you guys and have you.
Yeah, I mean, we're small potatoes.
I'm cool with that.
We're small potatoes right now. I mean, it's just been about a week.
Yeah.
But we wanted to create something, because I understand PR is really supposed to be about the author, but to make something that was a friendlier environment for bloggers.
Okay.
But fair warning with that, we don't enforce rating restrictions.
Okay.
But we do ask no bashing.
Okay.
So there's that. And then, of course, we offer PA services. I'm a PA, which means I get paid to boss people around. Julia is a PA, and we offer graphic design.
Very cool.
Not as good as you.
I did it for a really long time, though, but
not as good as you. We only got 2 years under our belt there.
Okay. Awesome.
That's us in a nutshell. We're
okay.
The crazy red hatters.
The crazy red hatters, and the one brunette who wasn't here today.
Yes, she's busy getting shaken up over in California.
Not good.
Yeah, I know. We keep checking on her. She's okay.
Okay, good, good. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much. I, as an author, and I know many of the authors who work with you guys, we appreciate you so much. So I hope that this was helpful to people. So
we hope it is too. And,
yes.
Come find us. We like newbies as long as you don't spam us.
All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.